which one is genuine, which one is spam. So for that reason, we have created this workflow, or we are going to create this workflow where we are leveraging LLM to apply the logic and segregate, or at least apply the logic to determine which ones are spam emails, or which ones are spam project inquiries, which ones are genuine inquiries, right? And in this if node, we are filtering that if at all it is spam, go to this Google Sheet. If it is a genuine, the same Google Sheet, but into a different tab. Okay. So here, the first filter is that sometimes we see that people won't fill the required fields or whatever important fields, right? So there's no point if someone has left the form empty, right? There's no point for those records to be sent to AI. And then AI LLM will check for, hey, whether it has data or what to do. And also unnecessary usage of tokens or unnecessary putting burden on the LLM. We don't want to do this. So remember, the first filter is to check if the project inquiry has some data or it is empty. Okay, that's the first filter. If it is empty, the further workflow doesn't execute. If it is not empty, then we give the user prompt and system prompt, and here it will see if that inquiry is genuine or it is a spam. If it is spam, it goes to this route. If it is genuine, it goes to this route. It's a very simple workflow. And so I want every one of you to even start doing from your end as well. Okay, fine. So as I mentioned, I'm going to start from the scratch. So let me save this. Okay, so let me just move this. Okay, I'll just save this. Okay, overwrite and save. Okay, now hope everybody has created, everybody has logged into n8n, and I believe that you are all in this interface. Am I right? I'm just checking the messages as well, parallelly. Yes, no, repeat the process to log into n8n. Okay, you want me to log into n8n. While this is on, what I say is I'm going to click on, this is my browser. Okay, so I'll say n8n.io. Okay, it will redirect it to n8n.cloud, right? Either you log in with n8n.cloud or n8n.io, that's fine. So better I use this Chrome, otherwise what's happening? Either you can log into n8n.cloud or n8n.io, right? So you see a window here, right? Those who have already logged in, have the account, you can log in with sign in. Okay. Like for example, I have already have sign in or account for n8n. So I say srielevate.app.n8n.cloud. So I click on sign in. I better change my network, but again, I'm hoping, okay. Okay, those who are unable to, have not yet created the account, just say, click on get started, fill your details. Okay, and give an account name where it is unique, and, and then create an account, please. When you log in to n8n, you will see a window like this, an interface like this. So click on create window, create workflow. Okay, this is how you create it. And some of you might see a white background. So n8n offers two backgrounds, two colors, right? White background and dark background. It is all up to you, right? Which one you want to use. So click on this. If you want to change to your dark or white background, click on your profile, which is towards the bottom left, and then click on settings. And here you have dark or light theme, right? So I'll go ahead with the dark theme. And then once it is done, sometimes you will see this as save is disabled. So just replace some, the last name, some letter, so that you'll have the save thing. Okay. And then go back to settings. This doesn't really matter because whether it is a black background or a white background, it doesn't matter. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Yes. Okay. Now let's start off. I'm sharing my screen, the same screen. Yeah. I'll just move this chat to my other window. Just a second. Somehow it's working weird. Okay, critical update. How to get to this page? Why is this share button not available? I'm just trying to see. Just a second. Let me just turn off my video once and then I'll try to share. What is stopping here?
Hey Sridevi, is there an issue?
Yeah, I'm unable to share my screen. I'm just
Can you
trying to
stop
see.
sharing and then share because we
My screen is visible, visible. Yeah, thank you so much.
yeah.
It is there on the top. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, so let's start off. So, yeah. So on your screen, you see a plus symbol here. So we are going to create a workflow, right? So the first node, what has been created is that on form trigger, right? So form trigger, just type form and you'll see n8n form. Okay. So there is some trigger with the name on new n8n form event. Okay, as per the workbook, first step is to create the API. Yeah, let's do that as well, because those were the prerequisites. So I will show you already. Outskill team has provided you the OpenAI's API key, but I'll also show you how to create an API key. Okay, we'll do that. Definitely, we'll do that because without that we can't complete the workflow. Okay. Yeah. Don't find form creator. So what you have to do is you just need to click on the plus symbol and click on form, right? N8N form, you will see this. No manual trigger in this workflow. When Akhil has explained, he started off explaining with manual trigger, then on schedule trigger. But in this workflow, we are going to use N8N form. Okay, form trigger. Yeah. Right. So we already have on form submission. Okay. So once that is done, what you have to do is double click on it. Okay. And then there are various fields you are able to see, right? The authentication, form title, form description, and form elements. Okay. So if you open this form, I will just show it to you. I hope all of you are having this with you. I'm just parallelly also sharing this. So please refer this while I'm explaining this. Okay. So this is the workflow that we are going to build. And this is the API key that we are going to use. As I mentioned, I'm going to create API key also from the scratch from platform.openai, and or this key also we can use it. Okay, so complete guide. So what you will need before starting. So we are going to have an n8n account that already I've shown you how to create, and then OpenAI APIs key. Okay, so let's log into platform.openai.com. Okay, platform.openai.com. So here you will see something like, this is your, let's say, your Gmail. Okay, so go to your profile. Probably the one which I have is that of, I'll see that. Go to your profile. And over here, you see the API keys, right? So click on API keys. Already I have created so many API keys when I was developing the workflows and all that. But this is a place where you have to create the API key. But look at it. If I start creating a new secret key, and I'll say that Shri key, for example, right? And I say default project and create secret key, and it's a copy, right? So here, though I see that I'll say copy, and I can very well I'll put it in a notepad. I'll put it in a notepad. Okay, so let's say this is my API key. I click on done, but at the same time, I need to also see the billing, right? So what is the credit balance I have, right? I have $5.63, because of which I was able to also create the API key, right? But if you check on billing and you see only $0, then you have to add credit balance by using your credit card, right? So can you please repeat how to create API key? Okay. So there are two things first you need to see, right? So first check if you're billing, already if you started using API key, check the balance. If you see $0, you need to add to credit balance, right? Of course, it asks for the payment. It is not free. Okay, any API token usage and all, it is not free. So add to credit balance. So it is worth spending those $5, because $5 worth 1 million tokens, right? So for example, if you see OpenAI tokens usage, right? A token usage, OpenAI tokens, tokenizer, OpenAI API pricing. Okay. Then what are tokens? For example, OpenAI Help Center, what are tokens and how to count them? All these things you'll see that for 1 million tokens, you will be spending $5. So as I mentioned, 1 million token. So one token is 3/4 of the word. So 1 million tokens will have 750,000. That is 750,000 words, which we can, which will get processed, which is a combination of both input tokens and output tokens. Okay, so it is mandatory to purchase it, right? Once you purchase it, then click on API keys and then create a new secret key, right? So click on my test key and we'll click on give the name, any name, like let's say demo key, and click on anything, default project, and create secret key. You can create as many API keys as possible, or is enough. And it doesn't mean that once someone has asked a question that is it that we have to pay for each API key? Not really. You can create the API keys and you can use them for multiple functions. So copy it and paste it in different notepad and you can start using it. Okay. Now let's proceed
Yes,
because we have to, yes.
sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I think there is a little confusion in the chat that people are thinking they should pay for the API key right now. So
Right
just
now, yeah. So now I'm coming to that point. So in order for you not to waste that time, Outskill, Outskill team has provided you that a document which has that key, right? API key. Okay, so I think I have that in a different, this one, right? So make use of this API key, okay, what team has provided. So what you can do is, I'm just copying the same thing for everybody's uh, usage. Okay. So here what I do is, so that API key we have to use whenever we create that LLM, that LLM model, right? So we are still here, right? When I go and create this AI spam checker, then that time we'll be using that. But for now, let's create this. Okay. And also, it's been mentioned that to create the prerequisite is to create Google Sheets as well, right? To create this Google Sheet. Okay, so here it's been very specifically mentioned that open and duplicate the attached spreadsheet. So here in your worksheet, you will see this, right? So click on lead inquiry database, click on this link. So you will see this lead inquiry database, okay, email and message. If you want to create from the scratch, you can just open your drive, create a Google Sheet and have this email and message as a column headers. Okay, so there are two tabs that you have to create, two independent individual tabs. One is for spam, one is for genuine inquiries. Okay, both tabs will have the same column names. Okay, so 1 minute time so that you should be able to finish this. If you want to copy it from here, all that you need to do, as I mentioned, copy this. Okay, and then say, I mean, it'll be there in your uh, drive, right? You want to keep the same name, well and good. Okay. So there's other way also where you mentioned not sure how to duplicate. So see the instructions here. This is also, it's been mentioned. So all that you need to do is click file and make a copy, right? So for example, if I say click file, make a copy, I can very well save it in my drive, right? Since I have already created this, I'm proceeding further, right? Okay, great. So let me just see the chat and I'll just move it to this. Akhil went from scratch. Can we go now from scratch? Yes, we are going to start from scratch now. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going back to my n8n workflow. So I'll just toggle between this and this because this is a workflow that we have to do, right? Okay, great. So everybody, now the first thing we have done is the trigger node that is on form submission. So in the authentication, select none and the form title, right? What is the form title that is there in your form? Just 1 sec. Let me just put this here so that we'll go in the same page. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just closing this. We are in the first form trigger. Double click on it and then click on the form title, right? Form title. So this is project inquiry. And the form description is enter your, here we'll say that form description is a form that captures email and message from a potential client, right? This is a form description. So where we expect the client to enter the email and the project inquiry, right? So I'll say EI, right? And here is the important thing, right? Add form element. So in this, mention the field name. So each form element has three components, right? One is the field name, field type, and the placeholder. So the first field name is enter the email, right? So we will say field label as email. And since it is email, which will have @gmail.com or yahoo.com or outlook.com, the element type we have to select very carefully. So select the element type as email. Okay. Zoom on your screen. Okay, you want me to increase the zoom? Okay. Is this okay now? Yeah, perfect. Now, email, field name is email and email type is email type, right? Whenever we want to have drop down where people should select some of the options, then you can go ahead with drop down. Any date field you want to have, you can have a date field, number field, password, etc., etc. So in this example, we are going to choose email. Now, a lot of people have the question that what is this placeholder, right? So it is nothing but a hint that we are giving to the client that what is this field about? A hint or a note which is slightly grayish color, right? So here, what is it mentioned? Enter your email here. This is just a hint or a note, right? And client will be clear as to what to enter. So click on this required field, toggle it. That means it is mandatory. Otherwise, client will not be able to submit the form. Okay. Now, respond when form is submitted, of course, but we want to add one more element, right? So click on add element, form element. And what is the next field name? If you are going through the documentation, what is the next field name? Message? Everybody agree? Message, right? Right. Very good, Bobby. Yeah. Shubham, very good. No. Shubham, it's not project inquiry. Of course, field name is message for the project inquiry. Yeah, you can name it. Right? So enter your project inquiry here. That's fine. Yeah. I'm following the document, but you can, Shubham, whatever you said is also you can enter the project inquiry. So that is a message, right? So this will appear in a slight grayish color so that it is just kind of a note or a hint. So once you add two fields, in this example, it's only two fields, right? Two form elements. One is the email, other one is the message. And then we click on execute step, right? This is the first step, right? We are clicking on execute step. Then automatically you see this form coming into picture, right? So here you enter your mail ID, okay? Did you mark required for second field? I didn't mark required for second field. Probably we can do it. But in this workflow, we want to try it out even if someone leaves it empty, right? How the filter is going to filter it. Mandatory field, right? Required field means like mandatory field. Yes. So we have added two form elements. So one is that, so I'm using my email ID. Sri CDP at the rate CDP1 at the rate gmail.com. Let's say. Please enter any of your mail ID and message. So the first message, what we want is, see, we will try with different type of messages, right? One is sometimes we leave it empty. Sometimes maybe we give a very genuine message. Sometimes kind of irrelevant text, right? So first, let me give some relevant message, right? See, enter your project inquiry here. So not this one, I'm sorry. Message is something like, I need your help to build the website. So this is something I want to enter in the message field. Because the firm to which the inquiry form is there, this is specialized in building the website. Okay. So Neelanjan was mentioned that when I keyed into API key shared above in the document, okay, how to execute the form. Okay, I'll repeat. We'll come to that API key in a bit. First, let's focus on node after node, right? Yeah. How to execute that, I'm going to show it to you, right? So when I click on submit, okay, problem submitting response. This is a test version of your form, okay? So just 1 second. Can you repeat this step? Okay. Just so now we have created on form submission, okay? And this one has authentication, we said none. Form title, we said project inquiry. I'm not even able to get into, oh, someone said you're not even able to get into what? Get into this web page. You have to log into n8n.io, right? n8n.io, right? And then click on create workflow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Double click on it so that you will see this field name, email, and field, one more field as message. And we should be able to click on execute step, right? And here it has given this fields. Messages. So click on submit. Form submitted. So we see the output in the right pane, right? So usually whenever we see the execution or the interface is divided into three sections, right? One is towards the left-hand side, it is an input pane. This is a configuration pane and this is a output pane, right? So we have entered email, message, and we submitted it and form mode as test mode, right? So now click on this back to canvas, right? So we are in this interface, but if we want to go back to our canvas, just click on back to canvas. So one node was successfully executed and we see one item here. Okay, right? And then if you see this workflow, what has been developed, there is a filter node that has been applied. Okay, let's do that. So click on plus and click on filter, right? Click on plus and click on filter. Those who were asking questions on API, just hold on. We'll do that once we get into LLM node, OpenAI node, right? So click on filter node. Why we are creating this filter? Any idea why we are creating this filter node? Anybody in the chat? Can't see create workflow option on mine so that we don't waste time. Okay. No, we'll spend some time in LLM, definitely. Yeah. No, it is not to filter spam or not spam. This one is to filter whether the message field is empty or message field has text, right? This initial filter is to see if the message field is empty or message field has text. Why is it important? That if the message field is empty, I don't even allow it to enter into LLM's execution. There's no point. Okay. So that is the main reason. So what we say is, yeah, what we say is, if the message field is not empty, then only allow it to LLM node, right? So I'll say message, and this is the operator, right? I'll say message not empty because this message is a text form. So I'll say string and is not empty, right? Is not empty. We only allow text cases to LLM step. See, it all depends upon the condition, right? If there is a number field in the form, and if that is greater than some number, then only allow to the LLM. So it can be of text or number, right? That is the main reason why you have different data types fields, right? Okay. Now, once we have this, execute this step, right? So what we are saying is, if the message is not empty, then it will route to the, true, right? Execute step. So now if you see this, when you execute the step, n8n window is beautifully designed, right? The output of the previous node will be the input for the next node. Please listen carefully. If you have observed the output, so this one is the output of on-form submission, right? That will be the input for the filter node. And once this step got executed, this is the output of filter node, which will be the input for the next node. We are going to look into that. Okay, so I'm clicking again back to Canvas. Of course, I click on save. Okay, so I have on-form submission and I have filter node, right? Both the nodes were successfully executed. So only it keeps those only if it is not empty, right? If I open it, it's not empty, right? Then I will be creating what? The LLM, this OpenAI node, right? So I'm clicking on plus and I say OpenAI, this one, this OpenAI. This OpenAI chat model is something which you attach to the AI agent, but right now you have to select this OpenAI. Here we are going to message a model and give a user prompt and system prompt. Got it? Message a model. Click on message model. Okay. And in this, I will be making use of the OpenAI's API key. And then here I'll be using user prompt and system prompt. Okay. All right. So I'll again repeat this. We are here. I hope everybody had completed with on-form submission node and filter node. Okay. And this one, right? Messenger model. Okay. How did I add this? I clicked on OpenAI, right? That's it. I have not yet configured any of the parameters. I just clicked on OpenAI. That's when we have received this node. Now let's start configuring the parameters. Double click on it. Here, the first thing is, please click on this pencil symbol.
Hey Sridevi, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt. I think
yes.
a few of them want you to repeat the filter note
Okay.
in the chat, and most
Okay.
of them are saying that.
Sure.
Could you please look
Right.
into that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Type filter note and it's the first one. Okay. Okay. So for example, I'm just kind of deactivating. Just forget that these nodes exist for now. So just click on this plus symbol and search for filter node. Okay. In this filter node, you have the placeholder. You can add multiple conditions, right? But if it is equivalent, then only keep it. Otherwise, this one, and all that stuff, right? So in this case, this filter node significance is that I want to filter out all those messages which are having or which have the information or which has some text in it. Whether the text is spam or not spam, at this point of time, I'm not going to check. But here it is, whether it is empty or not empty, that's only I'm going to check in this filter node. So please see, all these are now variables. When I execute the form next time, I may enter different email ID, I may enter different message, and I may enter, these two are, these are variables, right? So these are easily draggable, right? So my filter condition is that if my message, which is a text, you see that what exactly we have typed in the previous one, right? If I have selected string data type, if it is not empty, then only it should go to the next node, right? If it is empty, then we know that it's not going to proceed further, right? So I need not have to use multiple conditions. So one condition I have used and I clicked on execute step. Okay. That's when it is that whether it is discarded or kept, now it is kept. if at all there was a blank, I have left the message field as blank, it would have gone into discarded, right? Okay. So this is what. And to this, what we are adding is OpenAI model, right? OpenAI AI model. And click on Messenger model. You will be learning few other actions within this OpenAI in the later sessions. But in the interest of time and in the interest of this workflow, okay, it is a brain, right? Yeah, it is a brain. We are attaching a brain. And in this, we are going to apply the logic, how we are leveraging AI to identify if the message is a spam message or a genuine message. It is showing, what is that? Message condition is wrong. Required date time. See, just click on this plus node and enter OpenAI, right? OpenAI. Click on Messenger model. Now, where is this date time coming into picture? Someone has mentioned in the chat, right? In the filter node. Nidhi, what is that? In the filter node, you select the string and say is not empty. That's it. Don't select date or number data type because it is a string, right? Okay. Yeah. Now we are at this point. Anyway, I have recreated, so I'm just deleting this. So here, messenger model, this is an actual AI brain, right? So here there are four important things. The first one is that we have to give the authentication to access the AI, the first one. And the second one is, anyway, we have chosen the messenger model that was already taken care. The second one is we have to identify which model of AI, OpenAI, right? As Akhil mentioned, if we have to perform very complex activities, tasks and all, we have to go with the high-end OpenAI 5.1 model. Okay. But if you want to, now this task is a very simple task. So I'll be making use of either a nano model or a mini model. Okay. So Chirag, I'll come to that API key. Okay. I'll come to that. I have not yet created API key. I'll come to that. All that I'm now explaining is the number of four important things that you need to consider when you configure these parameters. The first one is the credential. Second one is what is that model that we have to use. So in this, click on drop down and search for mini model, right? Mini. Click on mini. So you will see GPT 4.1 mini, right? Click on this. We'll come to API in a minute, right? Click on this mini model because the task that we are going to perform is very, very minimal. Right. Now, guys, this is very important. Okay. This is very important. Now, in the messages, you see that there is a role user. What is the type? Because here I'm not dealing with any image or file. I'm dealing only with the text, right? So click on text. Role is user. And here, this is a place where we are going to give the prompt, right? And then we add one more, we add a message. And here I will select system, right? So there are two placeholders. One is for the user prompt and the other one is for the system prompt. Clear? This is very important, right? Four parameters. One is the credential, which we are going to create now. The other one is the model. The third one is the user prompt placeholder. And the fourth one is the system prompt placeholder. Okay, great. Yeah. Now let's now dive into the OpenAI account, right? First, I'll show you how we can leverage the API key that Outskill team has provided, right? So I'm going to copy it. Everybody also please copy it from your worksheet. Okay. And then click on this downward arrow key, right? And then click on create new credential. Okay. Click on create new credential. And please paste the API key. Okay. Fine. So someone saying it did not work. I'll try from my side as well. Okay. So I pasted it. Okay. Don't worry about organization ID, base URL and all. And then I will just say this one is, I'm just giving a label that Outskill API, right? Outskills API. So I'm just clicking on save. I've got a message that connection tested successfully. Okay, let me execute it and then we'll get to know. Okay. Yeah. And I see two messages. So this is how I have used the API key, which I have already got, by clicking on this plus credential, and I have given this Outskill API. And one of you have asked that, hey, I'm not able to see the modal. So click here, and in the search, just type mini, MINI. You would be able to see GPT 4.1 mini, GPT 4.0 mini, right? What I have chosen is 4.1 mini. You can as well choose 4.0 mini. Okay. Now, by default, so we have taken care of those two, right? Credentials and selecting the modal. Now, under the messages, by default, you will see only user prompt, right? Now here, I'll just again come back. So by default, you see this way, all right? So it's always advisable first to give a system prompt, right? Change it to system. And then click on add message. Then automatically you will see the user prompt, right? We need to have user prompt and system prompt. Now, go back form, shared form, Google form. Okay, and let's try to understand the prompt now. Okay, so this one, Ravindra, you raised your hand. I'll come to that. API key is not working. Let me first test it as well. Add API spam detection. This is a node name I'm going to give it. Okay. And here it is the system message. Whatever has been given, just copy and paste it in this, right? Copy and paste it. Yeah. So how do you paste it? See, always see that either you increase the window, the placeholder width like this by dragging, or click on the expression. And then you see only a very small space here, right? So there is a small square button towards the corner. So just click on this and paste this here. So the one which I've pasted is the system prompt, which already is there in your worksheet, right? Now let's try to understand what this system prompt is. So let's take 20-30 seconds to go through it, and then we'll discuss this. Please go through the system prompt. I will repeat the last step. Yeah, I will. First go through the system prompt. Yes, Kavita. I'm going to repeat again from filter. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what it is saying, you are assigning a persona to the OpenAI, right? to AI, right? Hey, you are a spam filter and you will receive submission from lead gen form, and you will have to check whether or not submissions are spam or legitimate inquiries. The lead gen form is a project inquiry form because that's what is the main purpose of that form for our web development agency, right? Let's say I have a web development agency. Everything which is not a request or a question related to our business. So when you say here our business, it is something related to web development agency. It should be categorized as spam. If someone says the test message or it is a spam, consider it as a spam, right? Then additionally also, if you detect any dummy emails, consider it as a spam. So like this, you can put n number of conditions based on what you think would be the reason for a spam message, a spam. So, and it says that just give yes or no, don't explain too much and all, because we are going to further do the next activity of routing the results to the Google form, right? So this is what is a system prompt we have given. I'll repeat everything. Okay, just bear with me. We'll also give the user prompt, right? Here. So what is the user prompt? It says that, hey, this is what is the mail ID and this is what is a message that we have received from the form. So what I do is, in the user prompt, I click on the expression and I click on this small square and I say that email, colon, and then message, right? Okay, so here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make use of email, drag this field from output what we received, right, from the filter node, and the message field. Okay, so this will be part of your user prompt, right? Expression, and this is the result. Okay, so what all I have accomplished now, let me just slightly minimize this. Okay, so what all things that I have filled up in this parameter settings, parameters, one is the credential. Let us check this by executing it, and then I repeat everything. We have given the credential, then we have given the model. What is that GPT model? Then we gave the system message, system prompt, and then we gave the user prompt. And in the user prompt, I dragged the variables, dynamic variables from left-hand side, that input window to the configuration window. And the simplify output is enabled. Disable, what happens also, I'll show it to you. Let me execute step, because so many people who are saying that what is that, OutSkills API key is not working. Let me check now. It has worked. It has worked, right? Someone has asked to share the API key. I'm sure you must be having access to the Google Forms, right? Let me share it with you. Let me please pay attention. I'm sharing the API key. For now, please use this. For now, please use this. Yeah, right. So I'm just pasting the API key. Please use this. As I mentioned, the other way to copy and paste has some extra spaces, but I copied and pasted the same thing. It got executed, right? So you literally have to copy and paste, copy this till here. Yeah. Okay. Work now for me with the notepad. Oh, that's cool. Work now for me. Copy paste has some extra space. Rahul, thank you. So you said that you first copied into Notepad and then pasted in there. Works for me, works for me. Very good. Why are we adding user thing? Okay. So Rugved, so see like how we give a prompt to ChatGPT, right? Uh, hey, this is what is the email and this what is a message, then identify if it is a spam or not. So we are setting the behavior in the system prompt and the dynamic variables in the user prompt. Great. Vices, yeah, works for me, you said. Where will it store this message? Yeah, need a website service. Can you help? And also, I don't have money. Will you still help me? You don't have money to buy credits for API key? You can make use of this SF key, right? Like this outskills key. Oh, Gulform, you said that you're not able to add the second field in the Gulform. So is it in the system message, even in the AI node? Message, where is the option? Okay, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so if you scroll down, there is something like add message. Click on this, add message. Okay, there you will see the uh, placeholder. Here you change from user to system or system to user, right? And since I have already added user prompt and system prompt, I'm deleting this. Now look at this. Um, I hope everybody created the API key, I mean, credentials. Those who are those who want to know how to create API key, I already discussed, I already explained, but I'll explain it once again. So go to, I mean, since Outskill team has given this API key, you'll be using it today. But from tomorrow onwards, you may have to create on your own, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So for that, all that you have to do is platform.openai.com. Please listen carefully. We already discussed this once, and this is the second time. Please discuss. Please listen carefully. So once you log in platforms, this thing, and I'll just log in with your Google ID, right? Okay. Now, when you see this towards left-hand side, even if you scroll down, okay, somewhere here, you won't see any API keys here, right? So all that you have to do is go to this profile icon and then click on your profile. Click on your profile. And towards left-hand side, there are three very important options, right? One is API keys, right? And you'll be able to create or use the API key provided you have the credits in your account, right? Okay, so first link that you have to use is this particular link. I'm just pasting it. Where is this message? Okay, the first one is billing. I'm unable to see the messages. Yeah. Okay. So guys, so please remember when you log in, you will first see the billing. Ensure that you have enough credits and then go to API keys. Okay. And then click on create new secret key. Click on create new secret key. Give some name. Let's say demo key. and create secret key. It is the simplest task, right? Creation of API key. Just copy it and paste separately in a notepad, right? Okay, once that is done, copy and then just click on done. So once you know that you have enough credits, once you are able to create the API key, just keep an eye on the usage. All right. Whenever you execute the workflow, how many tokens are getting consumed? What is your balance? Right. So out of $5.63, I have spent only 0.84 cents, right? So far. And because I just it was emptied out, so I think I purchased it yesterday or day before yesterday, this account, right? So now you know how to create an API key, right? Right. Let's go back and use this. When you create an API key, what you need to do is click on create new credential and just paste that API key, like how it is in a copy mode. I pasted it and then save it. If you want to label it, you can label that with whichever Google credentials you have logged it, you can label it, right? Right, right. So once that is done, anyway, you have chosen the model, you have given the user system prompt first and then the user prompt. And when you have given the user prompt, you need to ensure that you pass these dynamic variables, email to email and message to message. Please do the user prompt once again, Peter. Okay. Okay. So now let's say Peter is asking me to repeat the user prompt. Okay. So the moment you you create a AI node, you will see these parameters and only one section of message, right? Here you give first the system message because that is the behavior first we have to establish, right? And then I want to create user message. For that, click on add message. Then you see the user, role as user, type as text. Because we are not using any image or file, I'm using text. Okay, yeah, output is not Rajesh, I'll complete. Okay, so in this, because it is having variables also, right? I'll say expression. Listen carefully. Expression, click on expression. And click on this small rectangle button, sorry, square button. And then say email, drag email from here. This is a variable. Because every time I fill the form, I fill it different emails and different message, right? Now this is a message. I drag the message. Okay. This is what is my user prompt, right? And this is what I have executed. Okay. This is what I have executed, right? So Rajesh mentioned he's unable to see the output. So Rajesh, just wanted to check if you are able to click on this schema, table, JSON. There are three different options. So the one which you are able to see is if you click on schema, you'll be able to see the way that you receive it here. Sometimes what happens is the middle pane must be so large that you are unable to see the output pane, right? As I mentioned, this is the input pane. Still not able to select Rashmi GPT 4.1 model from the list. Okay. I'll get back to you, Rashmi. So this is an input pane, this is a configuration pane, this is an output pane, right? This is what is. Now I'm going to click on back to canvas. Right. Okay. Authorization failed. Please check the credentials. So that's what. So Santosh, please check the SF. Whatever is this, right? I'm just going to share this with you. All of you have this worksheet, right? Santosh and others. So I didn't do anything. All that I have done is copied this without any extra space, just copied just by the end of a letter. Okay. I just copied it. And let's say in the notepad, let's say I open a notepad. Okay, paste it. and ensure that the last cursor is immediately after A, right? So copy this API key which Outskill team has provided. And in this AI model, click on create credential and just paste that API key. Yeah, Amit Sharma also mentioned. So do that way, it will work. Okay. Yeah. And Rashmi mentioned that she's unable to see this. Rashmi, I don't understand. I mean, I'm not sure if you were trying to search for the model in this correct field, right? Model. Prompt is not visible like yours. It is the same form that has been shared, right? It's the same form, Mama. I'll send you. Okay. This is the link that this is the link that we have got. Okay. So for everybody, please refer this, right? This doc has all the prompts and everything. Open and refer the same while doing it. Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, we'll be losing time, and please refer this. Okay. User prompt, system prompt, and all these things. Perfect. Okay. Now let's go back to Canvas. Yeah. Okay. Great. So go back to Canvas. Okay. Now, as per the workflow, we are going to apply if condition, right? As per the workflow, we are going to apply if condition. Now, can you tell me uh, how do I add if condition, right? So just click on plus symbol and type if. Exactly, add node and click on if. There is a difference between if and switch node. Both of them seem to have same icon, but if node is having only two conditions. Okay, it has only two parts, either true or false, yes or no. But switch has multiple conditions. You can add multiple conditions. But in this workflow, it is only either spam or not spam, right? That's when I just click on if node. Okay. I just clicked on if node. So it has only two, right? I didn't select either it is only two, true or false. It itself by default has only two branches. So double click on if. Okay. Now message is not empty. Nee. In this case, it's not message is not empty. We have configured it in the filter node, right? You see this? Here we said message not empty, right? Now here, what should be the true condition? Mohammed says, in the user prompt, we are unable to drag email. Oh, okay, it's working. Okay. So in this, if you see, if you go along, in the filter, in the if condition, so we have done till here, right? Add AI spam detection. We entered the user prompt, system prompt, and user prompt. Now look at this. Route messages with if node, right? If the message content is equal to yes, if the message content is equal to yes, right? Then it is true branch, then go to spam. That means if AI identifies it as a spam, then route it to the spam worksheet, right? So that's what we are going to do. Now, what happened is that you may not exactly see that message.content or json.message.content. Okay. So what you have to do is double click on this if node. And in this, the text is here, right? So drag this text to value. Drag this text. This text has the analyzed part of the message, right? Now we have all these are various nodes that we created, right? On form submission, filter, and AI spam detection. So click on this, expand the node of AI spam detection, click on the text. because we gave a very genuine message, it says that it is not a spam, right? Okay. So this one, if this text, so it's always first branch is always true branch, right? First branch is always true branch, right? If this text is equivalent to yes, if it is equivalent to yes, right? Then it should route to, uh, a Google Sheet of spam, if not to genuine, right? That's what we want. If the text message is equivalent to, that means if AI analyzes that the message type is spam, then it should route it to Google Sheets. You will understand in a minute. Okay, fine. So I'll just execute this. Execute, right? So if you see this, true branch doesn't have the uh, data, right? It has gone to the false branch. Because why? The message what we have inserted, if you see this on form submission, the message I have inserted is that I mentioned very genuine inquiry, right? I need help building a website. That's why this is a genuine message and not a spam. Okay. Now here I would attach this to a Gmail, right? How am I going to do that? Click on plus and click on, not Gmail, sorry, Google Sheets. Click on this Google Sheets, right? Google Sheets. And click on append row in a sheet. Okay. Click on append row in a sheet. Similarly, here also, you will be clicking on Google Sheets. Google Sheets. And here also you will click on append row in a sheet. Okay, I will configure this, each of them. Now, if you guys, if you noticed it, I have one Google form. Oh, sorry, I have one Google Sheet. In that, there are two tabs, right? Spam and genuine inquiries, right? Both of them have same column names, right? Email and message. Because these are the two variables that we have passed in our user prompt, right? Okay. Now, let me just delete the previous values. Okay. Now I have this Google Sheet. I hope everybody have the Google Sheets ready. Okay. Priya says she's stuck in the spam filter. Sridevi, can you help me with that? Okay, Priya, I'll get back to you. Once we finish off this Google Notes, I'll get back and repeat the spam filter thing, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Now, I hope everybody has Google Sheet. It doesn't take more than 1 minute because it doesn't have multiple columns. It's only two columns. So open the drive and create a Google Sheet. And here it is lead inquiry. Okay. Now let's go back and let's try to configure Google Sheets. But before that, since 2-3 people are asking, Priya and everybody is asking. So now, Priya, so if you click on if node, right? How did we add if node? Soon after message model, we clicked on plus and we just said if, right? That's how we added this if node. And in this if node, okay, please observe carefully. We have these 3 nodes we created, right? On form submission, filter, then AI spam detection, right? AI spam detection is nothing but the AI model. So when you expand this, you will see something like a text. And why it said no? Because in the system prompt, what did I say? If you see this, only respond. Your task is to respond with yes if it is spam, no if it is not spam, right? If it is legitimate, that's why it is saying no, right? Because we mentioned this, AI is intelligent enough to process this. That's why we have got value no, and it has gone to that no branch, right? This one, no branch. So I said, and where is this no branch available? Within AI spam detection output here, this text. If it is equivalent to yes, then go to spam. If it is equivalent to no, then go to genuine. That's what we intended. Right? When I executed it, I received this. Okay. Now coming to this Google Sheets. Everybody, with whichever Gmail or with whichever Google credentials you logged in with this, I hope you have created the Google Sheet within the same Gmail, within the same Google Drive, right? So in my case, I have created with Sri CDP1, right? How do you do that? So click on create new credential. And there is something like sign in with Google, right? Sign in with Google. Now, in this case, I have this Google Sheet in my Gmail, which is sricdp1@gmail.com, right? So that is the main reason why I will connect with that Google, right? So I said out of all these Gmail IDs I say I will choose the one in which I've created this Google Sheet, right? I click on this, then it will give this kind of message, right? n8n Cloud already has some access. Do you want to continue? So click on continue. Yeah, connection successful, right? I didn't do anything. I just with whichever mail ID I created, and I logged into that drive. I created that Google Sheet, and here I have logged in to the Gmail like this, right? So here I can very well label it as, right, Sri CDP1 that credentials, and I'll say save. Right. Now, I mentioned the operation as append row. Okay, from the document, from list, what I do is, I can see lead inquiry database, right? Remaining and all are different Google Sheets when I was creating other workflows I've created, but this one is lead inquiry database. Click on this. Okay, and then in the sheet, you will see spam, genuine inquiries, right? It has two tabs, right? Spam and genuine inquiries. In the if condition, we said that true if it is spam, right? So that's why I have clicked on. Now I'm clicking on this spam sheet, right? Spam tab. The moment I click on spam, it will open up the two headings that we have in that sheet, right? It has two headings, right? Here. This one, email, message. So in the email is there in our this one, right? In the system prompt, we have this filter, right? So I drag email to email. And I drag message to message. Let me see why it is not turned to green. Let me see. Okay. AI prompt detection. Okay. So let me click on it, but let me see why it is, okay, it is in fixed expression. Okay, let me see why it is. Okay, let me execute it and see if it gives any. Okay. Okay, so it is output, and execute this node to view data. Now, it is the same thing here I'll be mentioning. If it is false, that means it is genuine. So I will choose lead inquiry database. And here it is, genuine inquiries. And here I will drag this email to email, and then message to message. Okay. Just click on this gray color, and then execute this step. When you execute this step, it has routed the message in the Google Sheet, which is named as genuine inquiries, right? So just click on back to Canvas. So all these nodes got executed. Let me open the Google Sheets to see if the row got inserted or not, right? Look at this. This row got inserted under genuine inquiries, not under spam, because I gave a very legitimate message, right? I need help building a website. Okay. Now, let us see by executing this workflow with some other message, right? Some non-related message, right? I'll just save it. And let's say I execute this workflow now. And again, it will pop up this on form submission, right? So execute this workflow. Now, let's say I give a different mail ID, sridevi999@gmail.com, for example, right? And I give something like, how are you, right? I just said, how are you? Okay. This has nothing to do with the inquiry, right? It is something unrelated stuff. So I said, how are you? So now tell me, if I submit, the workflow gets executed, where should it land, right? In which tab of Google Sheet it should land? Spam. Okay. Yeah, Rajendra says spam, right? Let's see. Okay. I'll click on submit. What happened? Execute the workflow. One sec. Why is it not? Form submitted. The workflow is getting executed. And now we see that it has gone to how are you? In the project inquiry, if I say, how are you? That is considered as a spam, right? So AI has detected it correctly. That's why it is a spam. So it has been routed to this worksheet under spam tab, right? So I just opened this Google Sheet, which we have created. Let me click on spam. Look at this. This has captured here with the email. Okay. Now, any other message you want to give? Yes, Nidhi, I'll get back to you, Nidhi. One more execution flow, then I will address your queries. Any message you want to give? I want to build a website. Okay, I want to build a website. Okay, so let's give that. Okay, click on execute workflow, and now I want to build a website. Let's say I want to build a website. Okay, so this is the inquiry that we have received, right? The agency, web development agency has received. I want to build a website. So the mail ID I gave it. Tell me if it goes to spam or genuine tab. Yeah, genuine. Okay, right. Let's click on this submit and see whether it will go to true or false. Of course, it has gone to genuine, right? Now, see this. And if I see in the genuine inquiries, it has gone to genuine. Now, the last trial, what we give is, let's say I execute this workflow, but I don't give anything in the message. I just leave it empty. That's where our filter condition is mainly, predominantly, we created it, right? If it is empty, please don't proceed the workflow. Unnecessarily don't burden on AI, right? LLM model. So I intentionally, let's say I have left the message and I just submitted it. Look at this. You see the green color tick mark here, which executed only till here. It has not taken it forward to AI node, if node, nothing got executed. If they were executed, you would have seen the tick symbol. Okay. Now, Bobby, I'll just get back. Now, since we have done the execution, let me address these issues, what you're facing. So we have executed with three variations, right? One is we've provided very genuine inquiry that I want to create a website, or I want you to create website for my e-commerce business, something like that. Then it has gone to this node where it is a legitimate tab got updated. When I have given how are you, then it has gone to a spam tab. And when I've not given any message, it stopped here itself. Right? Yeah, worked. Okay, now let me open the chat now. Yeah, thank you. Great. Muktadir, yeah, it's worked for you. Okay. Document from list AI generalist accelerator C6 schedule. Okay. Everything worked. Bobby, great. Okay. Rahul says, I don't see name as question. Can we use docs instead of sheets? Um, because see, as long as you are able to bifurcate in the form of variables, you should be able to, right? But in this case, Google Sheets is most ideal, right? Because what happens is, if you double click on it, these are some of the variables. If you should be able to drag and drop them here. Then only the message or the content or the text will be placed in the respective columns. Otherwise, you have to say something like add option and not here, over here. If you want to use Google Docs, it's your responsibility to segregate them into two different variables. For that, in that case, you have to use add option, scroll down and see output format as JSON, right? JSON object. If you want to have other output medium, then you need to select this option. Okay. Anybody are still facing issue with if node or Google Sheets node? Yeah. If Mohammed says if node, please repeat Google Sheet. Okay. Google Sheet node error. Okay. Yes, Google Sheet. Okay. Fine. Right. So guys, first of all, I'll just tell you, you have to create a Google Sheet, right? You have to create a Google Sheet. For example, now let's say I have this Google Drive, right? Let's say, where is that? Yeah. Let's say I have this Google Drive, right? This is something like sricdp1@gmail.com, right? So what I do is, let's say I've created already one workflow, one folder. I'm creating one new Google Sheet, right? So click on plus new, click on Google Sheets, value, okay. And here in the first row, you say first is email, and here it is message, right? Those who have not yet created Google Sheets. And here I rename it as spam. Okay. Then what I do, I create one more, just say it's a duplicate. And here I'll say genuine. And it is the same email and message. Now here I'll say lead gen database. database 1, for example. This is how my Google Sheet, I have created Google Sheet under which Gmail, with which Gmail credentials, sricdp1@gmail, right? This is very important. Once I've created Google Sheets, from if node, you will be clicking on plus symbol and give Google Sheets, right? Like this, Google Sheets. And then you click on append row in a sheet, append row, right? That's when you'll open this Google Sheet here. Same credentials with which you have created Google Sheet. Resource should be sheet within document. Operation should be append row. The moment you see you click on this, initially it will be empty, but if you click on this downward arrow key, you will see lead inquiry database. See this? Oh, I did it. And within that lead inquiry database, that is your Google Sheet, you have this tab, right? See, all of us know, right? Google Sheet, within Google Sheet, you have two different tabs, and within that, you have columns. So it will get reflected in the same fashion, right? Over here, spam. These are the two tabs that I've created. And then I will open this filter. Since we have not yet executed the previous nodes now, again, after making the changes, but otherwise drag these values, right? Let me just do that. So I'll just execute this. I'll just execute this node because these two were executed already. Let me execute this. And okay, so this one has empty value, right? I will say just A, B, C, D, E, F, something like that, different message, right? So submit. And then I click on this filter, node by node. And then I click on AI node. Okay. And then I click on this if node. So here the text is saying yes, in the sense it is a spam, right? That's when it is saying yes, A, B, C, D, E, F. That is in the inquiry form I have mentioned. That's why it has gone here. And in the append row, you will see this, these are in green color, right? So how did I get this from filter, right? In the filter, it has email, email to email, and message to message. How did I drag this? Just hold your finger and just drag and leave it here. Similarly, message, right? Hold here and leave it here, right? Okay. And then you execute the step. You're not getting the values part, config of Google Sheet. Can you please explain this part? Yeah. Email and message from form submission node as well. You can, but here the filter node will have even further refined one, right? Like if it is genuine one, definitely why not? You can also keep, put it from this one, email and message. But if the message is empty, right? Then anyways, here it won't get routed to, right? So filter or on form submission, that's fine. AI spam detection, it does not show up on drop down. Kavita. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just getting processed. Okay, it got processed. I said A, B, C, D, E, right? Let's see. This one, right? Inquiry. So let's click on spam and it says that how are you? Where is that? Can you show the if node for no? Okay. Now here you see A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah. Okay. So Hussein, for no, if not for no, see, only one condition will put it, right? Because the other condition will be no anyways, right? Okay. This is the if node. If the message is equivalent, message inference by AI is equivalent to yes, it goes to spam. This one, right? How did I drag this? I dragged from here, right? Text. Look at this. Yeah. Clear, guys? But everything is going to spam. Acha, Hussein, everything is going to spam. Huh? Append a row did not work for me. What am I missing? Priya says append a row did not work for me. Okay. So, I think the AI spam detection. Okay. Um, okay. So, I think I'll address two queries that were mentioned in the message, right? So, please copy paste this system message as is. Because here it has been very clearly mentioned that your task is to respond with yes if it is spam and no if it is a legitimate. And also here there are some conditions that they have mentioned, right? If it is not related to any of the firm, if it is not a request or a question related to our business, what is our business here? Web development agency, right? So I'm just going to copy this. Please paste this in the system message. Look at this here, system message. Okay. So let me paste this. This is a system message. Okay. And uh, this is the user message. This one is the user message. Okay. If you paste it correctly and give that if condition correctly, you will be, the messages will be routed to the, right branches actually. Yeah. It's working now. Great, Hussein. Thank you. This is a user message. Okay. And Priya, I think Priya or Kavita was saying that,
Sorry
yeah,
to interrupt. We'll be closing the rooms in next 5 minutes. So any questions, we can take it up on the chat and close it.
yes, sure. Thank you. Right. So Priya says, could you quickly show how you have created Google Sheet account? Oh, okay. Um, let's say I have, okay. See, all of us have Gmails, right? So I go to this drive, right? I have Gmail and I have this these various Google apps thing, right? I click on this and I click on Google Sheets, right? This one, Google Sheets. Okay. So click on this spreadsheet, new Google Sheet. And on the top, where you see that number one row, here you say email. And here you say, uh, what is that message? Right? Yeah. That's it. And here in the tab, you name it as spam, one tab, and then right click and duplicate it, right? And here you will see legitimate or genuine, right? Genuine. That's it. And here you name it as lead gen DB, right? Or DB1 or whatever and all. That's it. And this Google Sheet, the credentials, whatever you're going to create here is with this, with the same login with which you have created the Google Sheet. That's it. How to push this into any website. Okay. This is basically, I'll tell you. So on form submission, there is something like a webhook, right? There is something like webhook. You learn it in the subsequent sessions. We use this webhook. Now, for example, if I click on it, webhook, you have this URL, right? Test URL and production URL. This URL you have to copy and paste it in the front end, whatever is the user interface front end which you are going to attach this workflow, so that it will listen whenever there is a request that is submitted in the user interface. Okay? Yeah. Got it? This is a webhook thing. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm sure, because this is all a new technology, new interface, I'm sure by watching this video and also going through these steps, if you practice it, you will be able to do it. All working for you. Okay, Amit. Yeah, great. Okay, so watch the video once again. Watch Akhil's demo once again, and I'm sure you'll be able to. Okay, yeah, great. All working, ma'am. Abhijit. Oh, that's nice. Okay. How do you get to the form to complete? Thank you very much. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. So just guys, don't forget to click on save. Just say save. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, Bobby, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so there are, I think most of the people have done it. I'm so glad. And don't, practice is the main key. Okay. How do I get the work? How do I get the webhook? Pratik, that's what you will be learning about webhook soon. Okay. If you learn everything today, it will be too much overwhelming. There is a separate node called webhook node. Thank you, Chirag. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Mm, just a second. Yeah. So Shasti has shared this feedback form. So if you guys could provide the feedback, that would be great. I'm just sharing the form. Uh, wow. Okay, Pratik. So yeah, it is case sensitive, Pratik. Angela, you're not okay. Angela, what is the error you're getting, Angela? I'm so sorry. There were so many messages, right? 1 second. Mm, let me go through. Angela, what is that? Okay. Matt, can you please check that in system prompt and tweak a bit, right? Okay. See, the system prompt that's been given is there is every scope for further improvement, so that the things will go to the genuine respective Google Sheets. Giving a quick recap from the beginning if you have time. Yeah, Saurabh, I can give a quick recap, not a problem. Thanks for being okay. No
We'll
problem.
be closing the room in another minute. I don't
Yeah.
think so. We have a time for recap.
In form of numbers.
Hey folks, back in the